Okay, welcome back to Business Owners Speak. Today, I am thrilled to have Diane Baratta with us. Make sure I'm pronouncing that correct. Diane, is that correct? Excellent. Well, welcome to Business Owners Speak. We're thrilled to have you. And if you could take a minute and tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Good morning. And my name is Diane Baratta, and I am the CEO of Mobility City. Our location is in Boca Raton, Florida. That's the home office. We are the franchisor, and we have franchised over 50 franchisees throughout the country. It is all about the branding of America and keeping people mobile for many, many, many reasons. And that's why we call ourselves Mobility City. We're not a medical supply store. So when you walk in, you can't buy wound care or a blood pressure cuff. This is all about mobility, which means it starts with a cane and a walker and a wheelchair and a powerized chair, a scooter. We also do hospital beds. We do anything that helps people improve the quality of their life from a little bit to a lot. And there are a lot of people that are not as fortunate as we are that can't even get to the bathroom if their motorized wheelchair or their scooter is not working. So we get calls daily for people that need batteries or whatever part it may be that we can service. We come out to their home. They do have the ability, if they do have the ability to bring it here, they can bring it here and we can fix it while they wait. But a lot of people that are not mobile or are handicapped in any way and they can't get to us, we go to them. We have 2 vans that are on the road all day long. We also go into facilities and we do a steam cleaning, which is called a 220 steam program, and it kills every virus known to man, including the coronavirus. And we clean their wheelchairs because unfortunately these people spend all of their day in a wheelchair, right? And who's cleaning it? Nobody. So as sad as it may seem, we go into facilities and I ask them, who maintains your fleet of wheelchairs? And they look at me like, I guess the maintenance guy. Right. And when they say, I guess the maintenance guy, I have to say, and you mean you're not maintaining your fleet of wheelchairs. Right. So we would like to introduce our service to you so that if we come to you on a monthly basis, we can make sure that everything is sanitized properly. And when the state comes in for an inspection, you're going to pass with no failures. And cleaning your wheelchair is like we would be cleaning our car. Yeah. So it's very important.
So Diane, tell me about how the business came about, and then kind of how'd you make a decision to franchise?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'm not from this industry. I've been a hairdresser my entire life. I'm originally from New Jersey, where I owned a hair salon for 25 successful years in Upper Montclair, New Jersey.
Okay.
And then my husband and I decided to leave New Jersey and come to South Florida for a wonderful life, as a lot of people do. Unfortunately, he got very sick and he was reduced to being in all of this equipment. And he was on dialysis and he was in a power chair. And a power chair is a motorized wheelchair with a little joystick. And he was able to drive himself to and from dialysis in his power chair. So one day, and I was still working as a hairdresser for a salon in Boca, and I got a phone call from my front gate that my husband was stuck in the pouring rain in the wheelchair and nobody could help him. So I left my chair and I rushed over and I got the guys that do the lawn maintenance to help me. And we got the chair back to the house and we got him back to the house safely. And then I said, okay, very simple. I'll get on the phone and I'll call the scooter store because that's where we bought it. And the scooter store was out of business. I said, oh, okay, what do I do now? So, okay, I start calling and calling. And when I tell you I'm getting no response, nobody does this. And I go to work the next day and I'm saying to my fellow workers, the hairdressers, I go, is it possible that nobody fixes power wheelchairs? Where are these people? Anyway, I must have called a dozen places. Finally, I called out of my area, which was Fort Lauderdale, and it was called Mobility City. And it was late on a Saturday afternoon. And who is my husband now, Vinny Baratta, answered the phone. And he said, yes, that's what we do. And I can send a technician up to your home. So he did. And they replaced the batteries and they did some other work and they fixed the wheelchair, and life was good again for me and for my husband. Unfortunately, his health declined and he passed away. So being from New Jersey, and I was in Florida by myself with no family, I figured, okay, let me just get back to New Jersey and start over again. I was married for 39 years to this person, so my life was all about him.
Yeah.
And my best friend said, wait a minute, don't come back to New Jersey. She said, she calls it the land of Oz. She said, Florida's the land of Oz. It's beautiful. It's always sunny and colorful. She says, stay there and go on the dating sites. I said, I don't know how to date. I've been married my whole life. She convinced me and I did. And excuse me, I'll just take a little sip.
Yeah, take your time.
I thought I would narrow it down. I know you're going to think this is strange, but coming from New Jersey and being from a very strong Italian background and married to an Italian person, and my whole life is around Italian people, I thought I would narrow down the search and say, if you're Italian from New York or New Jersey, please call me. So I got many calls, and I finally, after about maybe 6 months or more, I got a Vinny Baratta. And I said, wow, now maybe that's somebody that I could like. So Vinny Baratta invited me for dinner, and we went for dinner in an Italian restaurant in Delray Beach. And of course, we're exchanging stories, and I'm telling him my story, and he's telling me what he does. And I say, wow, are you by chance the Mobility City that came up to Boca to fix a motorized wheelchair? And he said, wait a minute, are you the girl that was crying on the phone because nobody would help you? And I said, yeah, that's me. Wow. And that's how we met. And it just, that was kind of like something that brought us together because I understood his business. And after our relationship began to grow, he said, would you like to start working in the store with me? So I said, okay, I think I'll do that a couple of days a week when I'm not being a hairdresser. So I did. And the business started to grow, and our relationship grew into a marriage. We got married, and he had previous experience with franchising. And he said, I think this is a franchisable model. So I said, well, I don't know anything about, franchising. And he said, well, what do you think? Should we try it? And I said, yeah, why not? So he started putting everything together, and we started the ball rolling. And within a year, we started a franchise. And it was just so necessary that people were from all walks of life, all over the country, calling, tell me more about Mobility City. And even during COVID, there were so many people that were furloughed or lost their job. And now they're saying, young men who still have to support a family are saying, I better do something. I better buy a business. And we sold over 50 locations throughout the country.
That's amazing.
We were never closed during COVID. We're an essential business because people that are sick, you don't close for them. And it's almost a 7-day-a-week business because we do answer the phone even on the weekends. And coming from my past, it's very important that when you call a business like Mobility City, an actual person answers the phone, not a recording, not an answering service, not push 15 buttons and leave a message. You get a person that answers the phone. It's very, very important to us because people that are in mobility equipment are calling this number not for fun. They
Right.
need help.
Yep. And possibly and potentially right now.
And as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So that's why we instruct all of our franchise owners to answer the phone, and they do. And it's here. This business is just, it's here. It makes you feel good. You're helping someone that's in need, and you're also earning a living doing it.
That's an amazing story. What a kind of divine intervention, right?
Interesting.
Yeah. So how long ago was it that you decided to franchise?
Let's see. We're married 6 years, and I would say we're in franchising 4 full years now.
And you've done 50 locations in 4 years.
Locations, yes.
How many states?
I think it's 25 states because we have multiple, like Texas. I think we have maybe 6 or 7 locations in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
We're all up and down the West Coast and the East Coast of Florida. Yeah, so about 25 states.
That's amazing. And so your main services are you sell equipment, but you also repair and maintain?
Yes, our main industry is repairing, because no one wants to repair, but we do, and we'll repair anything that you have, and everything breaks, including your car. So just like your car. So we repair, we rent, we sell, and we do facility work.
Okay, so you do contract work, I guess, with assisted living facilities and whatnot.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I suppose that is an area, as you touched on when we first started talking, that no one had really thought of. All these facilities have wheels, right, and equipment, and no one's maintaining it.
No one's maintaining it. Well, they think they're maintaining it with the maintenance guy. But when I speak to the maintenance guy, or when I used to do that part of the job, he would say, woof, I have 100 other jobs to do, and I have a room full of broken down wheelchairs that they call the wheelchair graveyard.
Right. And they're trading parts out, probably.
And they're trading parts out, and it's dirty, and anyway, he's happy to have a company like ours, come in and take that job over for him.
Absolutely. Interesting. All right. And so is the plan to continue more locations?
Yes.
Yes.
Our plan is to go anywhere from 100 or more locations. We're now registered on the West Coast of the country in California. And we just sold Orange County, California.
Wow.
And we're in the process of selling more counties in California. We held off for a while because California is a 3-hour difference, but they want it. They want it. We work with brokers, and brokers introduce us to their clients, and that's like selling a house. And
Sure.
So that's how we sell our franchises.
Okay, and then so the team, right, at each location, is it mainly office staff plus mechanics, basically?
Mm-hmm. It is mechanics. It's technicians that are out on the truck all day long doing work for people that are in their home and they can't leave, or facility work. So we ourselves, we have, most of our locations have 2 or more vans, and we're on the truck all the time. Then we have a staff in the store. Of course, we have a manager that operates the front, our retail business. And when you walk into our retail store, you see a beautiful showroom with a beautiful mural on the wall. Ours happens to be the beach because we're in Florida, and we have a racetrack with yellow lines on it so that disabled people can get in a piece of equipment and drive it. It's very, very important when you come into our store. It's our job to find the right piece of mobility equipment for you, for your height, for your weight, if you had a stroke and you can only use one side, for whatever it may be. And so we work very closely with people to make sure that they get the right piece of equipment. And then we deliver it to their home, and we teach them how to use it, how to charge it, how not to charge it. And also I give everyone my card with my cell phone number on it. And I tell them, if you're ever stuck, if you ever have a problem, call me, because we take our business very much to heart.
Yeah. You mentioned before we jumped on, you're looking at another location. Are you able to tell where that's going to be?
Yes, that's going to be in Palm Beach Gardens, which if anybody from Florida would know where that is. And there is, what was the name of the street that you mentioned, Matt?
North Lake, I believe.
North Lake
Yep.
Boulevard. And there's a big Joseph's Italian market there and Home Goods. And he's building it out right now because there is, when you purchase when you rent a location, then you have to make it look like a mobility city. We all look the same. We all act the same. It's sort of like McDonald's. It looks the same. It tastes the same. And that's what we try to project, that everything that we do is consistent throughout the country.
Yeah. And that makes for the most successful franchises, right? If you can do it really well in one place, let's do it again.
Absolutely. And we call it a recipe. And it really is a recipe. We have a recipe for being successful. And if you follow the recipe, you will be successful. If you get distracted, then you have a few challenges that you're going to face. But it's our job. It's our job to try to make you not have those challenges.
Right.
My husband, but by the way, Vinny, he's been in this industry his entire life.
Okay.
Comes from a medical background. All of his uncles and father, everybody in his family were doctors, but he didn't want to be a doctor. And he just liked to do the repair work for mobility equipment. And that's how it started.
And his role in the business now?
I'm the CEO and he's the COO. He drives the bus.
Got it. So a lot of married business owners out there, do you have any advice for those starting out to how to keep the peace and work as well together as you can?
Well, you have everybody has their role in the business, and me being the CEO, and I make all the final decisions, but of course we make them together. And he's so familiar with the business, being in it his whole life, that I know that once he makes a choice and makes a decision, I know it's the right one. I trust that it's the right one. And for the most part, it has been. And we just, I guess because we have our own roles, which we do have a lot of married couples that have purchased Mobility City.
Okay. All right, Diane. So in closing, how about just some advice for just a business owner or someone that's looking to take the leap to jump into it? Any advice you can give on how to get either started out right or to do it right long term?
Well, I would say if you're looking to get into a franchise, whether it be Mobility City, McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, whatever it may be, you follow their recipe because they know it works, obviously. And don't get distracted. Stay in your lane and do in other words, if you're not getting distracted, then you're staying consistent in your lane. And I know you mentioned what would be a book that I might advise to purchase. Well, there's a great book out there for anybody that's interested in purchasing a franchise of any kind. And it's called The Secrets of Franchise Success. And it's written by a gentleman named Mark Cameras. It tells you all about the secrets to not getting distracted. And if you don't get distracted and you stay on course, so if you bought a McDonald's, you're not going to say we're going to trade cheeseburgers for hot dogs.
Right.
You stay with the recipe. So that would be my advice.
Great. Work the plan, right? Work the plan.
That's exactly right.
That's a great story, Diane. I didn't know I was getting that a good sentimental story too today. So thank you so much for sharing and for taking your time and your busy schedule to be on Business Owner Speak.
It was certainly my pleasure, Matt.
All the best.
Thank you.